In the endless silence of deep space, something alien drifts toward us, a fragment of another star system, a cosmic messenger that astronomers have named 3I-ATLAS. It is only the third interstellar object humanity has ever recorded, following the strange cigar-shaped Oumuamua in 2017 and the icy comet Borisov in 2019. Yet, unlike those, this visitor carries with it a deeper sense of unease. It is darker, colder, and traveling on a trajectory that seems almost deliberate, as if it has chosen to slice through our solar system rather than wander aimlessly. Telescopes caught its faint glow on the edge of detection, a moving speck against the sea of stars. Scientists expected excitement, but what emerged instead was a quiet tension. Patterns in its motion didn't align with ordinary comets or asteroids. The numbers whispered of something unfamiliar, something unpredictable. To the public, it's another discovery. To astronomers, it is a riddle that carries risk. What force flung this traveler toward us? Is it just another piece of cosmic debris? Or is 3I Atlas the beginning of something far more dangerous? The silence surrounding it only deepens the mystery, as though the universe itself is holding its breath. When NASA's telescopes first locked onto 3I ATLAS, the data that streamed back seemed ordinary enough: speed, brightness, trajectory. But within hours, something unusual appeared. The object wasn't behaving like the icy comets we know, nor did it match the rocky asteroids that frequently drift past Earth. Instead, its velocity shifted in subtle but undeniable ways, as if some unseen hand were tugging at it. NASA's computers flagged the anomaly immediately. At first, analysts suspected a simple error in measurement, yet as more observatories confirmed the readings, it became clear this was no glitch. 3I/Atlas wasn't just fast, it was accelerating in ways that didn't quite follow the rules of gravity. Stranger still, its reflective signature suggested a surface darker than coal, swallowing more light than it should. Some sensors even picked up faint bursts of energy that didn't align with natural cometary activity. To scientists, this data was maddening. Every model they ran failed to fully explain it, and then came the most unsettling detail. Early projections placed 3I Atlas on a wide orbit through the solar system, but with a potential pathway that could, under the smallest shift, intersect. Dangerously close with Earth, not a confirmed collision yet, not an impossibility either. That sliver of uncertainty was enough to chill even the most seasoned astronomers. Normally, such discoveries spark open debate, but this time the mood inside research circles was different. Conversations went quiet, reports slowed, and a kind of hush fell over official channels. It was as if the data carried implications no one was ready to voice. For weeks, the public heard almost nothing. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Michio Kaku decided to speak, shattering the silence and pushing the mystery of 3I ATLAS into the global spotlight. For days, the silence from NASA and other agencies left the world uneasy, but when Michio Kaku finally stepped forward, people listened. Kaku is not just another scientist hidden away in a laboratory, he's one of the most recognized futurists of our time, a physicist known for bridging the gap between advanced theory and the everyday. Imagination. When black holes, string theory, or alien civilizations make headlines, it is often his voice that translates the incomprehensible into something the public can grasp. And crucially, he has built his reputation on balance. Kaku is the man who CALMS sensational claims, who usually urges caution before jumping to extraordinary conclusions. Which is why his decision to speak about 3I ATLAS was so startling. In an interview that quickly went viral, Kaku described the object not just as a passing visitor, but as a kind of cosmic warning shot. He acknowledged the unusual data, the unexplained acceleration, the abnormal darkness, the possibility of a trajectory that brings it closer to Earth than anyone would like. Yet he stopped short of declaring disaster. Instead, he painted a picture of possibility. Perhaps it is a natural fragment from a distant system, hurled across space by forces we barely understand. But then, in the same breath, he allowed for something more unsettling, that its strange behavior could be a clue. We're not dealing with ordinary rock and ice at all. The phrasing was deliberate, almost surgical, designed to ignite curiosity. While avoiding panic, still, the effect was electric. By comparing 3I-ATLAS to a cosmic warning shot, Kaku shifted the story from quiet academic circles into living rooms across the world. But his caution left an echoing question. Was he hinting at a natural hazard, or daring us to consider that something engineered may now be approaching? When Oumuamua first appeared in 2017, it stunned the scientific community. It wasn't just its origin hurtling in from outside our solar system that made headlines. It was its bizarre shape, elongated like a cosmic cigar, and the way it accelerated as if propelled by something unseen. Many dismissed it as natural, but whispers of alien probe lingered. Just 2 years later, Borisov arrived, a more familiar sight, a comet with its icy tail streaming behind it. Yet even Borisov raised questions, its chemistry and brightness, suggesting it came from a very different kind of star system. 2 visitors, 2 riddles, and then silence. Now comes 3I, Atlas, and with it a troubling pattern emerges. Like Oumuamua, it shows acceleration that defies simple explanations. Like Borisov, it carries the telltale markers of an interstellar traveler. But there's something else, a consistency in the strangeness itself. Each new object seems to outdo the last, ramping up the anomalies, stacking the mysteries higher. It's almost as if the cosmos is escalating the message, sending each interstellar visitor as a louder knock on our celestial doorstep. For astronomers, coincidence is the easy explanation, but patterns are seductive, and the sense of rising stakes is difficult to ignore. With 3I Atlas, the irregularities are more dramatic, the potential consequences more severe. If Oumuamua was a whisper and Borisov a murmur, then 3I Atlas feels like a shout across the void. And this time, the target of that cosmic voice seems alarmingly close to us, scientists. Faced with the enigma of 3I-ATLAS, first reached for the familiar explanations. Perhaps it is an interstellar comet, they suggested, a frozen relic flung from the cradle of another star system, its icy body carrying the chemical fingerprints of a place we'll never see. Others argued it might be a shattered fragment of some distant world, torn loose during a cataclysm and cast adrift for millions of years before finally stumbling into our neighborhood. These theories fit comfortably within the boundaries of known science, offering reassurance that 3I Atlas is extraordinary, but not unexplainable. Yet outside the calm language of academic journals, wilder ideas began to circulate. Some speculated that its acceleration and darkened surface were not natural at all, but engineered, perhaps the remnants of an alien probe disguised as a comet. Others went further, suggesting 3I Atlas might not just be a vehicle, but a signal, a deliberate warning hurled across space, meant to capture the attention of civilizations advanced enough to notice. These notions, while dismissed by most scientists, spread rapidly online. In forums, podcasts, and late-night debates, the contrast between rational astronomy and daring speculation became the fuel that kept the mystery alive. And the more people argued, the more the strangeness of 3I Atlas seemed to invite both camps. Was it nature's chaos or someone else's intention? A cosmic accident or a message written in rock and ice? The possibilities fed hope, fear, and curiosity all at once. But amid the storm of theories, one chilling thought rose above the rest. The real danger wasn't in where 3I-ATLAS came from. The greatest fear was where it might be going next. NASA's orbital projections are never taken lightly. With every new object that enters the solar system, teams of scientists run thousands of simulations, charting millions of possible pathways through gravity's web. When they did this with 3I-ATLAS, the results were both reassuring and unnerving. Most models showed the object skimming harmlessly past Earth, a near miss that would become another fascinating entry in the history of interstellar visitors. But tucked within those calculations was a sliver of probability that no one could ignore, a fraction of a fraction suggesting a direct encounter with our planet. The difference came down to margins, so small they almost seemed laughable. If the models were off by just 0.1%, If the object experienced even the slightest nudge from a force we haven't accounted for, an outburst of gas, a hidden fragment breaking free, or some unknown interstellar influence, its course could shift dramatically. And in those scenarios, Earth was no longer a bystander. It was the target. This razor's edge of uncertainty is what made astronomers uneasy. To the public, low probability sounds safe, but scientists know better. Low doesn't mean zero, and when the stakes involve a planet-wide catastrophe, even a whisper of danger is enough to command attention. Michio Kaku emphasized this point in his remarks, urging humanity to resist complacency. He spoke not with alarmist rhetoric, but with the sober gravity of someone who has studied cosmic history. The universe, he reminded us, has struck Earth before and it will again. Our choice is whether we prepare or pretend the danger isn't real. And that brings us to the chilling question. If the unthinkable did happen, if 3I Atlas were truly on a collision course, what would an impact actually mean for life on Earth? Imagine, for a moment, the unthinkable. If 3I Atlas were to strike Earth, the impact would unleash energy on a scale our planet hasn't witnessed in millions of years. The Chicxulub asteroid, the one that ended the reign of the dinosaurs, carved out a crater more than 100 miles wide and plunged the world into darkness, triggering global extinctions. Even smaller collisions, like the Tunguska event of 1908, flattened entire forests in Siberia with the force of thousands of nuclear bombs. Now scale that up to an interstellar object, darker and denser than anything we've cataloged before. The explosion alone could vaporize cities in an instant. Shockwaves would circle the globe, tsunamis would swallow coastlines, and dust flung high into the atmosphere could blot out the sun for years, plunging Earth into a deadly winter. And yet, the very same projections that whisper catastrophe also whisper hope. There remains every chance that 3I Atlas will simply pass us by. Another celestial wanderer that comes and goes without touching us. That tension between devastation and relief is what grips the imagination. 3I Atlas could dwarf history's most famous impacts. Or miss us entirely. The razor's edge between survival and destruction has never felt so thin. The discovery of 3I Atlas has triggered a storm of voices across the globe, each offering a different lens on the threat. Some scientists urge calm, reminding the public that near misses are far more common than direct hits. Statistically, they argue, the odds are still in our favor, and panic serves no purpose. Others, however, warn that dismissing the object outright would be reckless. They point to Earth's long history of impact scars and insist that preparation, not denial, is the wiser path. Agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency walk a careful line, releasing updates wrapped in cautious language, acknowledging anomalies but downplaying worst-case scenarios. Meanwhile, private voices, tech entrepreneurs, futurists, and even retired military officials enter the debate, some calling for planetary defense systems, others hinting that governments know more than they are admitting, and beyond the scientific community, the public reaction is even more polarized. Social media swirls with memes, doomsday countdowns, and conspiracy theories suggesting cover-ups. For some, 3I Atlas is a terrifying omen. For others, it's just another story in the endless cycle of online hype. Yet beneath the noise, one chilling question keeps surfacing. What if this dark traveler isn't just another piece of drifting rock and ice? Whispers began almost as soon as 3I Atlas was detected. At first, it was the usual chatter, another interstellar object, another anomaly to catalog. But then came the strange reports, irregular reflections of light, a trajectory that seemed unnervingly precise, and bursts of data that some claimed looked less like natural radiation and more like structured signals. Most dismissed it as noise, the kind of pattern-seeking humans are famous for. Yet others, remembering the controversy around Oumuamua in 2017, leaned in closer. Back then, Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb argued that Oumuamua might have been an alien probe, its cigar-like shape and odd acceleration hinting at something artificial. Critics scoffed. But the echoes of that debate now haunt the discussion around 3I Atlas. Could this dark traveler really be more than rock and ice? Some scientists are cautious, calling the whispers premature speculation. Others admit privately that the data doesn't fit neatly into known categories. And then there's Michio Kaku, breaking his silence at just the right moment, hinting that what we're seeing could carry meaning far beyond physics and probability, because if he's right, then 3I ATLAs isn't simply a cosmic accident drifting through space. It may be something else entirely. A warning or a message. In the end, 3I ATLAS is more than a cold traveler from the void. It is a reminder of how fragile our world truly is, balanced delicately in the endless ocean of space. Scientists admit that much remains unknown: its size, its true composition, even its ultimate path. But within that uncertainty lies the lesson. The universe is vast, unpredictable, and humbling. We are not its masters, only its witnesses, and sometimes its prey. Perhaps 3I ATLAs will pass us by, just another interstellar visitor fading into the night sky. Or perhaps it is something more: a silent messenger, a test, a warning carved into ice and stone by the cosmos itself. Humanity now stands at a crossroads. To dismiss it as another curiosity, or to see it for what it could be: a chance to prepare, to unite, to finally take our place as vigilant guardians of this tiny blue world. 3I Atlas is still coming. And the real question is, are we ready?